Let's see what this guy has to say about global wealth rate rotation. Rotation just started. Let's go.
All right, so there is a battle for the new monetary order between gold and Bitcoin. Right now, it's not really looking good for Bitcoin.
If Bitcoin falls 90% for the next 4 years, we'll refinance the debt.
What the fuck is this guy talking about? How are you gonna refinance anything when Bitcoin is down for you? It doesn't make sense.
That's
Refinance
all.
where, Michael?
We'll just roll it forward. I mean, again,
But you think banks would lend to you at that point?
yeah, because
I don't even understand how can banks even lend you any money on Bitcoins. It doesn't make sense. It's only America, bro. America is such a fucking lunatic economic system. It's so retarded that it shouldn't be possible, but it's possible. You can fucking borrow money on anything in America. It doesn't make sense, bro. What the fuck?
because
Okay, so let me explain what's happening. For the past several decades, the world worked with a very specific monetary structure. In order to grow the economy and expand something called the GDP, we had to expand the debt. And in order
That's wrong. We don't have. Listen, this is so foolish. You don't have to have debt to expand on anything. But America don't have money. That is why America only makes debt. Because America don't have money, bruv. Everybody fucking know it. Bruv, America don't have money. What? How is the whole American system, everything funding for the everything that goes from the system out to the people are borrowed money out of existence. It's money made out of existence.
to expand the debt, we had to grow the money. And as that system got bigger and bigger, most of the world's capital flowed through the US dollar.
Yeah, that's also the dumbest thing. The Western world depends on the stability of America's economics and everything in American economics, stocks, and all of this, companies, money, debt, and all of this. But only in America, I think, you can borrow money on borrowed money. Only in America you can go out and borrow money on borrowed money. It doesn't make sense, bruv. In Europe you can't just like, yeah, if it's a business plan and like, listen, in Europe you cannot just go out, buy a house, put 20,000 down, buy a house, make a loan on that house, and then put that money down for another house, 20% down for that another house, and keep on going like that. You can't do that. You can that in Europe nobody's gonna give you money like that. In Europe or where I am, it's like if you put money down and buy a house and then start renting it, and after some time, if the bank sees that you know what you're doing, and if you have the right background with school, and if you really present it to them, they might, maybe give you another loan for another place. But it isn't like you can do it like in the US. It's stuff that takes years to do. A lot of years. Nobody's just giving you money on money. That's so stupid that I don't know how it's even possible to borrow money on borrowed money. But yeah, American financial system is fucking dumb. And I don't know even how the fuck America is even. Yeah, I know how America is running. because all around the world they accepted American dollars, but now nobody cares about the American dollar. So America is it's gonna end bad for you guys, bruv. Honestly, bruv. You don't even know, bruv. The hunter games, hunting games, or what it's called, all this, that movie and all this, bruv. America is gonna be worse than that, bruv. And it's gonna be districts and all of this. As soon as the world stops taking American dollar, it's done, bruv. But yeah, only in America can you borrow on borrowed money.
And into financial assets like the US stock market. That's also why stocks have outperformed almost every other investment. And Bitcoin was born into this world during this expansionary period of time. All this endless money printing. And now that system is sort of coming to a breaking point. Because debt isn't just growing.
Honestly, Bitcoin is it's the dumbest thing. Because gold, you can have it. Real money, you can have it. But Bitcoin, what you gonna do with it? Put it on a fucking USB? Bruv, nobody cares about Bitcoin and electronic money. I understand drug dealers like Silk Road and all of this. I understand that. But everybody else, that they're so foolish that they think Bitcoin is gonna be something, bruv. It's not gonna be anything. It's not gonna be anything, bruv. Forget about it. It's a digital money that's not even worth anything. You cannot, bruv. If it's war, you can't do shit with that. What you gonna do? Buy things with your bitcoins, bruv? How, bruv? Nobody cares about bitcoins when there's war, bruv. Bruv, gold is not even that important in war or anything, bruv. In war, it's totally different resources you need. So yeah, Bitcoin is fake, bruv. Bitcoin, electronic money, all of that, fake. But gold also, it doesn't. If you look at gold, right? And these guys are all like, oh, invest in gold, you're gonna make money, blah, blah, blah. Bruv, if you invested in gold the last 30 years, how much did you make? But if you invested in Microsoft in these 30 years, how much would you then make? Nobody's talking about that, you know? Also, gold, you don't get dividends with it. With other stocks, you get dividends. So, and it depends on how much dividends you get. If you buy the stock very cheaply and after sometimes it goes up and all of this, the dividends gonna be bigger and you're gonna make a lot of more money. So, and gold, if you calculate inflation and all of this and blah blah, how much has gold really risen? How much? And if you compare to any of the biggest companies, how much did it actually make? You know? So yeah. I don't know, man. Bitcoin, gold, it's just rough, honestly. If you can't see the picture, I don't know what to say to you. A company will always make more than gold or Bitcoin or whatever.
It has now exploded, and it's starting to outgrow the economies that are supposed to support it. And so something called the global old rules-based order is coming to an end.
The international order based on rights and rules
Sie gibt es
no
so
longer
nicht mehr.
exists.
Now, throughout history,
What the fuck is this guy talking about? Rights and rules? What rights? What rules? Bruv, honestly, all of you normies, are you fucking living in a fucking illusion or what? You don't have any rights. There is no fucking rules. The rules are only for fucking normies, so they don't do anything that the elites don't want them to. How the fuck are you guys so fucking dumb? Honestly, I don't understand this shit. Bruv. There's no rules. What rules? Every rule there is, it's been broken so many times, nobody can even fucking figure out how many times. That's what's about the rules. And rights, what rights? You have no rights. What kind of rights do you even think you have? Bro, honestly, people are like rights in the West. Bro, if you don't have any rights, you fucking pay your fucking taxes. You have to. If you don't, you go to jail. Who the fucking asking you? You do what you're told. You pay a property tax on this home you bought. You're gonna pay for the property it's on for the rest of your life. What right? The fuck? Bro, honestly, you guys are... honestly, people are living in such a fucking illusion. It's fucking disgusting. Bro, have fucking some self-worth. Have fucking some dignity. Have fucking some honor, bro. Who the fuck are these guys to tell you how the fuck things should be? Oh, then we don't have any money. I don't fucking care. Figure it out. Of course you have money. Fucking the countries are making money on fucking everything. On import, export. Fucking, bruv. If you have zeros, bruv, it's so dumb, bruv. Honestly, if people have not woken up and still feel like they have rights and freedom and they're fucking getting taxed and working like fucking slaves, bruv, honestly, you're the problem. You are the problem then. Nobody else. It's not even the system anymore. Then it's you. Of course, I understand you gotta work on all of this, but you work through... you don't support the system. You say, fuck that shit, I don't want that. Are there anybody else who don't want this? Let's fucking pull together. That's fucking how it's supposed to be. Not fucking just eating the shit they're laying. God damn it, rights and freedom. Get the fuck out of here.
History, when this happens, money looks for something called the safest neutral asset. And what does that mean? A neutral asset is something that's not tied to a specific country or a government. It's outside the system. And historically, those have been assets with a finite supply. And for thousands of years, that was mostly gold. And in the modern era, a lot of people believed that Bitcoin was supposed to be the digital equivalent, right? So the world thought, okay, well, if we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know what the new system is going to look like, then the hardest asset is usually the safest bet. And because Bitcoin is digital and portable and finite, a lot of people also thought it would outperform everything else, including gold. Except that's not what's happening right now. Gold is breaking out to new highs. Central banks are buying physical gold at the fastest pace in decades.
Bruv, honestly, it's nothing. It's nothing. It doubled. It only doubled. Bruv, why are everybody like fucking so crazy about, oh, it's only doubled. It's fucking doubled. Okay, maybe it made 70, it made, I don't know. You made on your investment 150%. And so, I can show you fucking companies where you make fucking 3,000, 4,000% in the fucking same timeline. Bruv, I don't understand it, bruv. People just fucking dumb. Fuck this gold. Gold is fucking worthless. Are you a fucking woman? Why you need gold? What? Why? Bruv, anybody can take that gold from you. It doesn't mean anything, bruv.
And at the same time, Bitcoin has actually lost value relative to gold. So the question is, well, if we're really going into
Bitcoin and gold, the trading system have nothing to do with each other. Fucking stop that shit, man. You're bullshitting, man.
this new multipolar world, and if countries and people are really losing confidence in US treasuries and the dollar and maybe even the stock markets, then why is gold leading right now? Why is it that the asset that was to represent the future...
Listen, nobody is losing any trust in anything except the American dollar. Nobody wants it, bruv. What's wrong with you guys? Why the fuck can you not see the truth, bruv?
monetary standard getting left behind? And if this keeps going, how low is Bitcoin gonna go?
Listen, Bitcoin's gonna crash. All these fucking idiots are gonna lose their money. And only the drug dealers are gonna have their money. But the drug dealers, sooner, trust me, 100% the cartels have so much Bitcoin, they're gonna sell as soon as it drops a little more. And then this market is gonna crash. Because people are living in an illusion to think they're gonna be billionaires. Listen, the people who made money on Bitcoin, they made their money. Listen, you ain't gonna fucking buy in now and make some money. Forget about it, bruv.
Maybe the most important question: is this temporary, or is this the start of what some people call a capital rotation event, which could last for more than a decade? Now, these are all very interesting questions, and I'm going to try to answer.
I don't know, is this guy retarded or I don't know. If this guy has been going to school about the economics and all of this, bro, this school should give him at least half his money back. At least half. I would say he should be refunded totally 100%, but also it's not only the school's fault. It's also him. It's not only the school.
Some of them using the latest data and analytics, and hopefully at the end, you'll be able to better understand what's happening in this crazy world. So with that said, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the gold and for the Bitcoin. So I want to explain what's happening to gold and Bitcoin through the lens of two big forces. This will get extra nerdy, but we're going to use the macro force and something called the technical force. And the easiest way to understand what they are is to compare them and give you an analogy to physics. Now, in physics, you have something called the theory of general relativity, which explains gravity and the curvature of space.
Bro, honestly, this guy already lost me, man. Why are you speaking fucking so much? Fucking show the fucking facts and let's go, bro. What the fuck? Big Bang, expanding and contracting. What the fuck you think you're doing, bro?
Space and time. Basically, it explains the movements of big objects like planets.
It doesn't explain anything, bro. You just made fucking something up and now you think you're smart.
And galaxies. I think of this as sort of like the macro force. It's very slow and it sort of guides the general direction of things over a long period of time.
That makes fucking no sense, bro. It makes no fucking sense what you just said. That what you just said, it was the weirdest anybody ever said about anything. Okay, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm sorry. That's a lie. It's just fucking weird, bro. It makes no fucking sense.
Well, then you have something called quantum mechanics, which explains the movements of tiny particles and atoms. It's very chaotic, and it doesn't make any sense when you compare it to how the big things move. And when I think of quantum mechanics, I think of how investment markets sometimes work. Like they're completely unpredictable in the short term, and they don't make any sense of.
Oh, look at me. I've been going to university. Now I can I do some comparisons to act smart, but I'm actually just a nerd. Bruv, nobody fucking understand what you're saying, bruv. And I even fucking understand a lot of people, bruv. I'm a fucking people person. But you, bruv.
All to me. So the macro is the big picture stuff like the monetary order, sovereign debt levels, geopolitical changes, right? All those kinds of things that Ray Dalio talks about when he explains economics. Now, on the other side of that, though, is the technical side of the force, which is what people like Benjamin Cowan and North Star charts show us. That's the moving averages, the support levels, the ratio of Bitcoin versus gold, right? That's the particle physics inside the system.
Honestly, there's no Bitcoin versus gold. Gold is gold, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is electronic money. It's not even electronic money because it's not money. It's not real. It's not like any state will give you their money for Bitcoin. So it's not real. And gold is just gold. Hyped up and that's it. Honestly, gold is just hyped up. So it's fucking so hyped up. I don't even understand how these fucking investment gurus fucking even don't see it, bruv, honestly.
Now, in this nerdy framework of ours, gold can be explained using the macro force, the big picture stuff. What's happening to gold right now? It's gone up significantly. And what is the macro evidence of that?
Gold hasn't gone up. Paper gold has gone up. Say it how it is. Paper gold has gone up. Honestly, and this guy is a very lazy guy. He's not doing his job and really giving you the information.
Well, we know that government debt relative to the GDP is now higher than almost any
American government debt. Not all the world's, not everybody, not every country, only American debt.
point in US history outside of World War II. And global sovereign debt, at the same time, has exploded faster than economic growth itself. Now, also thanks to the changing
Why are you saying this? That's not true. It's not true. There's a lot of countries that don't have a lot of debt. I know a country where IMF is begging them to let them lend them money. IMF are begging them to accept IMF money. And the country is saying, no, we don't want your money.
world order, central banks around the world have been buying physical gold at the fastest pace in modern history. In a lot of countries, gold also now makes up a bigger share of official reserves.
Honestly, this gold is so fucking dumb. Honestly, if people really knew how much gold there was in circulation, bruv, gold would be crashing so fucking hard, it will never recover again. Honestly.
Than it has in
Because honestly, bruv, there's a lot of gold. There's a lot more than every analytic person and all these guys are saying. There's a lot of more gold than everybody's saying, bruv. Honestly. This is bullshit, this shit.
years, which means the sovereigns or tier 1 nations with nuclear weapons are choosing gold over other assets like US treasuries. So there's a lot of structural gravity that's
No fucking shit, bruv. Have you been living under a rock? Have you fucking seen America's global politics the last 20 years? Listen, nobody cares about you. Everybody has seen the masks. Everybody has seen the real faces. Everybody knows who you are. Bruv, you're a joke of a country, bruv. You're honestly a real joke of a country. What else is there to say?
pulling money toward gold, which is this neutral hard asset. It's outside of any government or currency. That gravity says gold should be strong, and it is. But based on this force, Bitcoin should be going up as well.
Gold again. Gold isn't strong because they are trading paper gold. It's not real gold. Nobody has been there to weigh all the gold out, go to all the private homes, going to all the goldsmiths, going to all the gold mines. Bruv, there's so much gold. Forget about it. And all of this is paper gold. If you don't fucking have the gold in your hands, bro, just forget it. You can't do shit. If the fucking stock market crashes, you ain't gonna get no fucking money for paper gold. Honestly, guys, come on, man. Come on, man. God damn.
But it's not. So Bitcoin, I think, is better explained using the technical side of the force. Now, either some of that made sense or none of it did. So let me explain it a little easier. One force is saying hard assets should be winning in this environment, and one of them is gold is winning. The other force, the technical one, is saying Bitcoin might not be done correcting yet. And that leaves us with a couple of different outcomes. Either Bitcoin is about to go onto a super cycle and form a new high and follow gold to go way higher,
Bitcoin's gonna crash at least 90%.
or we're seeing the early stages of a much bigger capital rotation event that I think most people are probably not ready for. And this is where it gets extra nerdy. And let me start with gold. But it's important to remember that when you look at all this stuff, it's not exact science. One chart that I show you is not going to show you what's going to happen to any one asset. Instead, it's better to look at as much information as we can to get a more accurate understanding of what might be happening. And a really good example of what I'm talking about is this chart I came across from North Star Charts. By the way, credit to Natalie Brunell and her podcast with North Star Charts. I'll leave all the links down below for you to go to the source material and check this out yourself. But the chart you're looking at right now measures a concept called CRE, or capital rotation evidence. What does that mean? It's in the name. It's a time of money rotating from one thing into another. Now, capital rotation is this idea that money goes through different cycles and phases of how and where it gets invested. And where it goes depends on a couple different things. Now, this specific chart measures the capital rotation evidence for gold. So it compares a lot of economic metrics to the price of gold.
Listen, honestly, this is bullshit. This only show market manipulation, nothing else. This shows big investment companies already been speaking together and telling each other, listen, we are moving from Bitcoin to gold, nothing else. That's it, basically. And they get the money from pension funds that you guys are paying to, and they're playing with your money. So yeah. This is just inside trading, nothing else.
On this chart, everything is in a bear market relative to gold. It's all in red, which means this is favorable.
That's not true. Absolutely not true. If you invested in a chip making, Nvidia, if you invested in Intel, if you invested in AMD, you would be up. 100% up. So, listen, guys, honestly, let me give you best advice. I got the stock market. It's all about hype. What are people talking about and what are they not talking about? Whatever they're talking about is going up. Whatever they're not talking about is going down. That's basically it.
Or really good for gold. So for example, the S&P 500, aka the stock market versus gold. Gold is winning right now. The NASDAQ versus gold. Gold is also winning. The dollar versus gold. Gold is winning. M2.
Yeah, in what, but in what timeline? In what timeline? If you take all of these and put it in a 30-year timeline, the gold will be losing so fucking hard. All this red will be green.
Money supply versus gold. The consumer price index, aka inflation versus gold. Even market indexes like the Russell or the Wilshire versus gold. You get the idea. Gold is going up faster than any of these indexes. Now, by themselves, any one of these squares turning red, not that big of a deal. Doesn't tell us much. But North Star argues that when we have a lot of these coincidences, in this case, all the squares have gone red against gold, that means we are now most likely in the middle of a major capital rotation event. In this case, this is when stock markets go down and potentially spend 10 or more years trying to get back.
Exactly. You're gonna fucking lose all your fucking gold paper. You're gonna fucking lose all your gold paper. And if you invest in gold paper, you're gonna lose everything, bro. If you invest in real gold, okay, it's gonna be okay. But if you invest in paper gold on the stock market, bro, just prepare to lose everything.
To the level they were at before this event started. Now, there have been a couple times throughout history when this has happened before. And here's a few examples. During the early 1930s, when the stock market collapsed and the dollar wasn't stable, the US went through a gold reevaluation thanks to FDR confiscating it.
The dollar has never been stable. What are you talking about? Show me 10 years without no inflation in the dollar. When's the dollar been stable? That's a joke, bro.
Gold repriced higher and outperformed just about everything. Gold dominated for about 5 to 7 years, and the stock market didn't recover to its all-time high of 1929 until 1950.
I don't know, bro. This guy is showing us a scale. This is a war period, again a war period, and again a war period. I don't know, man.
Before. That's a capital rotation event. Now, it happened again in the 1970s. That was the big one, which is when the US had huge amounts of inflation. The stock market was basically flat for a decade in what's called real terms, right? AKA relative to inflation. And during that time, gold went up over 2,000%. That lasted from 1971 to about 1980. So gold dominated for about 9 years. That was a capital rotation event. It happened again in 2002 when the US went through the dot-com bust. Gold went from the mid-200s in 2001 to over $1,900 by 2011. That lasted more than a decade, and commodities went on to what people call the super cycle. So that's a capital rotation event. Now, these rotations typically last between 5 to 10 years. And during those times, the stock market can either collapse or go sideways in real terms, while hard assets got the real returns. Now, what North Star is suggesting right now is that just about every major financial metric is going down relative to gold all at the same time. And when money starts rotating like
That is not true. Shipping
that,
companies,
it shows us
shipping companies are going up. Computer chip makers are going up. Bruv, there's a lot of going up. I don't know why this guy is fucking a liar. Honestly, bruv, I don't like this guy. I don't like him.
that there might be a really big change in investor confidence. And when these investors prefer neutrality over financial productive assets, aka stocks, that usually means the system is absorbing the stress somewhere else, right? Like the debt levels, inflation, currency debasement, geopolitical fragmentation, all these things are going somewhere. Now, in those times of uncertainty, markets can still go up in what economists call nominally, meaning the overall number goes up. But they can also have a hard time with getting what's called a real return, right? The real purchasing power gains. And I know it sounds kind of complicated, but for example, if you get a 10% raise in your income this year, that is your nominal number. But oops, life is now 11% more expensive this year, which means your real income is actually negative 1%. It's a loss. Same thing in the markets. Markets can go up 10%, no problem, but they can still lose purchasing power in real terms. So anyway, this chart says if this rotation continues, that doesn't mean there's going to be a stock market crash necessarily. It just means that real returns get compressed relative to hard or scarce assets. So the takeaway is that investors go through different periods of how they like to invest their money. Like, for example, some eras, the stocks.
That is not true. It's not investors, it's investment companies who all know each other, who all work together, who all sit and fucking drink together and fucking have a fun time. So fucking stop acting like it's just out of the blue. Stop that shit.
Might win. And in other
Listen, the retail investments, the retail stockholders are not, they ain't running nothing in the stock market. They ain't running nothing. So yeah, it's major companies and investment firms who are really moving the needle. So yeah.
Era's hard assets might win, and they tend to alternate. Okay, so that's gold. But then the question is, what about Bitcoin? And before I show you that, I want to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention in personal finance, which is building your credit. It determines the interest rate you qualify for, which directly affects how much money you keep in your own pocket long term. And if you're trying to improve or rebuild your credit, you should check out Kickoff. Kickoff is a credit building tool that helps you build credit safely and easily. They're refining it. A lot of this framework comes from Benjamin Cowan. I'll link his work down below for Into the Cryptoverse, where you can see all of this yourself, but meaning the year after the halving, which happens every 4 years. So for example, the 2013 cycle reached a peak in November. The 2017 cycle reached a peak in December. The 2021 cycle reached a peak in November. That Q4 timing has been super consistent. Now what's also interesting is that the year following the Q4 price peak a lot of times overlaps with a US midterm election cycle. It's historically been the start of a bear market. Now, here's where it really does start to look like we're living in some kind of a simulation, because the pattern kind of repeats. In the last 2 full cycles, Bitcoin took
The fucking pattern. There is a pattern, and the pattern are happening again and again. Because it's investment fucking companies. Bruv, they're moving their money out because there are fucking elections. They don't know who's gonna fucking win. And they're moving their money out until they know who the fucking winner is and how the system is gonna be forward. Fuck, bruv. How the fuck are you guys fucking making it such a fucking easy thing? You are making it seem like it's a fucking mystery. Bruv, stop fucking making thing a mystery. It's not a fucking mystery, bruv. God damn.
roughly 1,050 to 1,060 days to go from major cycle lows to the next high. For example, from the 2015 low to the 2017 high, it took Bitcoin about 1,050 days. From the 2018 low to the 2021 high, it took Bitcoin about 1,060 days. And on the way down, the bear market has historically lasted about 1 year. For example, from the 2017 high to the 2018 low was exactly 364 days. From the 2021 high to the 2022 low was about 371 days. So Bitcoin has tended to spend about 3 years going up and then roughly 1 year going down in a bear market. Now let me show you something that's also interesting. There's 2 specific indicators that technical analysts like to look at, which are the 50-week moving averages and the 200-week moving averages. And they're exactly what they sound like. They're a rolling average price over the last 50 weeks and the last 200 weeks. Now, historically, Bitcoin has been in a bull market when the price holds above the 50-week moving average price. But once it closes a few weeks below that level, several times in a row, that has marked the end of the bull market and the beginning of the bear market. Now for us, this cycle, we peaked at around $126,000. After that peak, the most important price point to have maintained was the 50-week moving average, which was sitting at around $102,000 to $103,000. Now, once Bitcoin went below that level for a few weeks, that's when we started the bear market. But wait, there's more. Once Bitcoin historically goes below that 50-week moving average, this is where Benjamin Cowan says, quote, a date with destiny starts to happen, right? That's when we inevitably go toward the 200-week moving average, which is much lower than the 50-week moving average. The 200-week represents roughly 4 years of price history, and it's always been Bitcoin's kind of long-term baseline, so to speak. It's not an exact science, but it's been very close every single time. So historically, Once Bitcoin loses that 50-week moving average, which again for us was about $103,000, the price compresses toward the 200-week moving average. That means for us, around $58,000. However, we could go as low as the 40s, or depending on what happens, maybe even the high 30s. Now, if we use what we learned from the prior cycles, which is that it takes Bitcoin about 1 year to go from peak to bottom, that would put us at around October of this year to reach our bottom. But it could also happen as early as May. Now, if none of what I said made any sense, here's an easier way to understand all of this. This right here shows how far Bitcoin has dropped at the end of every peak, right? You can see every cycle we go down a little bit less each time. So let's say this cycle we go down 7% less than the previous. So let's say we go down 70% from our all-time high, which is about $126,000. That would put us at roughly $37,800, which also kind of lines up with everything else that we just looked at. Now again, none of this is guaranteed science, but I think it's something really important to keep in mind. Okay, so if you made it this far, let me sort of put it all together. Also, don't forget to subscribe because a lot of people that watch my videos are not subscribed, which is kind of crazy. So if you like this kind of content, let me know by subscribing and hitting that bell notification. Now, in this capital rotation theory we talked about, I think that's a very real possibility that hard assets like
I will bet, if this guy want, or any people, I will bet you that it's gonna dip lower, much lower than 30,800. It's gonna dip a lot lower. Because, bruv, this guy, he don't know what he's speaking about. He don't even know why it's dropping. He thinks it's about gold and all of this. It's not about gold and all of this. I know why it's dropping. Because it's simple, bruv. A lot of countries have made rules that on everything you make on Bitcoin, you have to pay taxes. And these rules were implemented this year. That is why it's falling. And it's gonna keep falling. Because people are moving their money out of Bitcoin. You gotta pay, I don't remember, was it 40% or something on Bitcoin? In Europe, a lot of the countries have made tax systems, so you have to pay taxes on your Bitcoin. If you buy it, like, let's say, if you buy it at $1, it goes to $300, you gotta pay taxes on the whole $300. Plus, listen to this. They have made it so, even though you haven't sold it, you have to pay taxes on the price it's on at that day. So, yeah. So this guy, at least in this country where I am, they have made that system. So people are pulling their money out of crypto. Because why would you pay taxes on something you haven't yet sold? Bruv, this guy, he don't know what he's talking about, bruv.
gold, and eventually commodities like oil could outperform the stock market.
Didn't America also make taxes on Bitcoin? So people have to pay taxes? I'm pretty sure, I don't remember. I think I heard about something. But I know in Europe, majority of the countries have made tax systems on Bitcoin.
And that could last a while. What if we are actually in one of those 5 to 10 year scenarios where this capital rotation happens like the 1970s or the early 2000s, where hard assets structurally outperform the rest of the financial market? That's a very real possibility. And maybe even Bitcoin falls behind, because Bitcoin today is way more financialized or securitized than it was in 2015 or 2018, right? Because now it's inside an ETF. It's used as a collateral, right? It's tied to these crazy derivatives markets. There's products built on top of these ETFs. There's companies borrowing against them. There's miners financing their operations against it, right? That just means Bitcoin doesn't necessarily trade on scarcity. The price discovery happens because of all these paper products. So in the short term, the price of Bitcoin can be suppressed, and it probably is to some degree right now. Now, what's interesting is gold was also securitized, but in 2004. And after 2004, you could buy paper gold through the ETFs. So it was also suppressed. But remember that in the long term, price...
Have anybody thought that nothing is suppressed? It's just the real price. You can't say, oh, it's suppressed profit. It's the real price. Nobody wants to pay more for it. I don't understand. I don't understand this logic. I don't understand this logic. Are you fucking guys living in a fucking illusion?
Suppression using derivatives can only last so long. Eventually, the asset breaks out and it goes up. Now for gold, the macro reasons were, there's a lot of them, right? There's geopolitical uncertainty, banks accumulating, technical analysis. Maybe now it's gold's turn to dominate the markets. I think the same thing will happen to Bitcoin someday, but I don't know.
Gold is not gonna dominate no market, because if a real country goes out and do real research, it can crash the fucking gold market so hard it will never recover again, bruv. Honestly, it's so fucking ridiculous, bruv. It's so ridiculous. Every day there's new gold mines. Every day there's dug more gold up. Every day people are buying gold. Bruv, people have been fucking buying gold the last fucking I don't know how many thousand years, bro. There's so much gold in fucking circulation, nobody fucking know how much there's. Fucking stop fucking lying, man.
Know how long we'll have to wait to get there. Hopefully the next cycle takes us to those new highs, but it's not a guarantee. And so there's also something to be said about Bitcoin's technical analysis. It seems like, at least for now, the bull cycle is over, and we're now in the part of the cycle where all this leverage is getting flushed out, right? And we might just go sideways for a while, maybe for the rest of the year. One thing that I'm going to keep in mind is the wisdom in what Ben said in one of his videos, which is that bull markets make everyone a genius. Bear markets make fools of both bears and bulls. Meaning there could be a point in time this year when Bitcoin might go up, maybe even close to that 50-week moving average, close to six figures. That's when the bears are going to look silly. But then there could be a reversal, and by Q4, we get a huge move down, and the bulls are going to look silly. So bear markets can make everyone look foolish. That is a very possible scenario. Now at this point you might be like, okay,
listen, it's not about foolish, silly, or all this. It's about doing a real fucking analyze. Taking something and really analyzing it to the fullest. So this is about feelings and what you feel and don't feel, bruv. It's about analyzing the real thing. If you have something in front of you, you sit and analyze it and put it up against everything, and then you come to a conclusion. But not just, I feel it should be worth more, I feel it should be worth less, I feel these guys should be left off, or bruv, it's childish.
well, Andre, if gold is breaking out, and if Bitcoin's going to go lower, and if there's a capital rotation in the markets, then why don't you just sell everything and put it in gold or something, right? I think it's a very fair question. And here's how I think about it. I think there's a difference between recognizing there's probably a rotation happening and then trying to perfectly time it. Because capital rotations are not happening in a straight line. Even in the 1970s or the early 2000s, there were violent counter rallies. There were fake breakdowns. There was massive whipsaws, right? And if Bitcoin is still in its long-term adoption phase, if ETFs and sovereign interest and bank custody is still expanding, then selling everything into this technical weakness could be the same mistake that people made in the last few cycles. So for me, the better question is not, should I sell everything? The better question for me is, how do I invest this money so that I survive no matter what the outcome is? Like if Bitcoin goes up, I don't want to be left behind. If gold continues to outperform, I don't want to be blind to it. I want to know why it's happening. Maybe I'll own some of it. That's why instead of selling everything I have, I've been diversified. I hold Bitcoin. I've got my S&P 500. I've got my dividend stocks, which could do really well in a sideways market. I'd love to own more tech stocks than I currently do. Now, I've also sold my rental because I don't want any debt. I don't want the headache and the liability. So I have more cash than I'm usually comfortable with, but I'll keep dollar cost averaging across the assets that I think could be undervalued and then reinvesting all my dividends back into the market. Now, if you want to see my full portfolio, you can go to fundvest.com. I'll leave a link down below where you can see all of it and track your own investments, but I don't think there's a right answer. So I'll leave all the sources down below for you to look at as well.
Imagine, guys, we've been looking 25 fucking minutes and he fucking says he don't have fucking no answers. You're fucking special kind of fucking retard. That's what you are, bruv. You're fucking special fucking retard, bruv. That's what you are. Honestly, guys, this guy made me fucking mad because he fucking wasted all our times. Honestly, bruv, this guy, I want to say so fucking bad words, but yeah. Guys, honestly, yeah, this was a fucking failure. Listen, bruv. Don't invest in Bitcoin, don't invest in fucking paper gold. Bruv, invest in real companies who give you dividends, give you a share in the money they're making. All this other stuff, forget about it. If you really calculate shit down, it doesn't make sense. Neither gold nor Bitcoin. Yeah, fucking Bitcoin, it rose and blah blah, but yeah, sure, bro. Honestly, you need to be. If you were gonna make money on Bitcoin, bro, it's gone. The time is gone, bro. You need a fucking time machine to go 20 years back or something, bro. All this new now about Bitcoin is just somebody is gonna lose all their money, and it's not gonna be the big companies, and it's not gonna be the cartels. It's gonna be the ordinary people. Just wait and see. Wait and see.
And I'd love
Because people are not even buying Bitcoin. You're fucking buying fake paper Bitcoin. You guys don't even know what you're doing, bro. You're fucking buying paper. It's not real. It's not even in your possession. Bruv. Fuck, man. Yeah. So yeah, guys. See you next time.